Why is the Marriage Show, where we talk everything relationship and marriage. And I am Regina Jopesi. Today on the program we're discussing domestic violence. Over the past few years, the rate of violence carried out behind the seemingly protective doors of homes are becoming alarming. Wives with battered bodies, husbands with kitchen knife stuck at their backs, children with scary scars hidden behind their beautiful clothes. The sight and scream are becoming a major concern. I have some wonderful guests in the house today that will be talking to us about domestic violence. We'll meet them after the break. We'll be right back. Alright, welcome back. Like I said before, our topic today is domestic violence, and we have some wonderful guests today that will be talking to us about domestic violence, how it has affected us today, and why it is so rampant in our society today. On my right, I have Chisom Henry, the broadcast journalist. Chisom, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. And also right in front of me, I have Barrister Casimir Igwe.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
He's a barrister, and when it happens, we run to bed. So I think we want to hear his own side of the story, how they have been managing domestic violence. Okay, but I'm going to start with you, Chisom. Like I said, domestic violence has been a major concern in our society today. It's something that, I don't know, it's alarming. Every 3-4 marriages today is experiencing domestic violence, and I think it's high time we rise up to talk about this issue and see how we can try to reduce. I know we cannot really stop it, of course, but we can really do something like educating people and letting people to know what it takes to stop domestic violence. So what can you say when it comes to domestic violence in our society today?
I think the first and foremost important thing I would want to point out about domestic violence is the issue of gender. No, I won't advocate for gender equality, gender appreciation. That is what is lacking. When both parties appreciate themselves in the marriage and relationship, because one of the most important and prevalent thing in our society now is the fact that they believe it's a man's word and women believe it's their word. We can't work if we don't appreciate the both sexes. So in the marriages where you see men who exercise pride that they are in charge, and women who exercise pride that they also are in charge, and you get to see the orientation of a man is subdued to violence naturally. Men are naturally violent in nature. At any spark, what women can do by trying to tackle softly, a man will always react in a way that shows that he's a man, trying to prove that he's a man. And that is why the issue of gender violence is domestic violence is mostly about men battering women the most. Yes, the cases of women are there, but the orientation of men should come first, and men should appreciate women. The most important thing that I think should be on the key to end domestic violence is preaching out gender appreciation between both men and women. Men should appreciate the fact that women should exist, that they are humans, and women should appreciate that men should exist also, that no matter what a man should, even if he cheats on you, he doesn't give you food, he doesn't call for you to kill him. When we appreciate human beings, we will learn how to manage domestic violence.
Okay. Barrister Igwe, he just said something about gender equality, and he also said something about the men not respecting the fact that let me use the word opponent. Their opponent is a woman and the weaker vessel, like we will all say. Do you accept that men are naturally violent in nature?
I do not agree with that.
Okay.
Reason is that, going by his perspective, it simply means that domestic violence has to emanate from man and end on the woman. But that's not correct.
Okay.
The issue of battering that he's measuring on is only an insignificant aspect of domestic violence. Now let's take it this way. When you talk about domestic violence, it could happen to a man, it could happen to a woman. Mind you, there are also offsprings of the marriage who are also victims.
Yeah.
So it's not just restricted to man and woman. The only place I agree is when we appreciate ourselves as human beings created by God, then I will situate with him. But looking at domestic violence as it is a serious problem. That's the truth. in our society today, not just in Nigeria, is a global problem. And I should also think that it requires very urgent attention. And also, all hands should be on deck to ensure that it's eliminated. It can be eliminated.
Okay.
First and foremost, I think we really need to x-ray some of the known causes.
Yeah.
Because there are unknown causes that we don't talk about. Let's begin to look at the known causes of domestic violence. Let's also try to look at the entire stretch of domestic violence, the components. I think it will help our discourse to be able to also educate our viewers.
Okay. Mr. Henry, also I would want to know, what do you think, because you said something about what we need, the strategies we can use the mediums we can use to eradicate, and he said it can be stopped with domestic violence. What do you think are those unforeseen things that people have not seen and not talked about, that the mediums can use to stop domestic violence?
The first and foremost important medium is the immediate family. Because I believe the first thing to change a nation or to change a society, you start from the family. There are families where domestic violence are not kicked against. In the family, like I come from the part where I come from in Lagos and Badagry, you see some tribes where in Badagry, where they beat up their women, then their immediate family are just calm with it.
And there's something, there's a particular, not just, okay, it happens in Badagry too.
Yes.
There's some other place in it, is it Benue? And they said, I think it's okay that when they beat their wives and all that.
The immediate cause of domestic that can be eradicated, that can work towards eradicating domestic violence is the family. The family should have a reorientation that, yes, this thing is bad. When somebody does it, it's bad. Like as you mentioned, Benue State, I have a classmate who said that in their state, in their tribe, in their religion, and in their tradition, that men, whatever the man does is the final say. Whatever he does, even if he beats his wife, the wife has no right to run away from the house. So she has to be in the house where they are beating her up, hitting her. That he has told me a personal experience that indeed that his mom was being battered even up to when she died, and when she died that he was away, that he couldn't come back for her burial because he was so angry with the father. I said, well, at your immediate family, your uncles, didn't they call your father to caution him about it? They said that they didn't caution him, and since you don't caution him or you don't implement drastic measures against him, you can't stop it. In India, we've seen the recent case of where a whole community are raping one girl and beating her up. They kept her for 7 months. If not for the power of media, which we all like your show, what you're doing now, this is one of the best avenues to tell people that domestic violence is a terrible thing. It's a very, very terrible thing. And if you don't stop it, people think it's just about beating. It affects how other people view your nation, how they view your society. I wouldn't want to go to Benue State as a person. Not even as a visitor.
Oh my goodness, to hear that.
I really wouldn't.
Okay, what's your take based on what you just said?
Flowing from that, I think he's been able to identify the cultural belief as one of the causes of domestic violence. We also have religious beliefs, supremacy of the man. We also have, like in our society today, we have a lot of just from the same thing he made mention of upbringing at the family level, where these things are not checked, where they are not stopped. I give you an instance. My 5-year-old son, whenever he ventures to fight with a lady, we'll make sure we handle that issue. We try to discourage that. Look, you don't fight with a lady, you don't even fight at all. How much more fighting a lady? Right? So try to inculcate that consciousness in him at this stage. But there are so many broken homes. There are so many people who are not tutored in all these things. So they just grow up with that ego of a man thinking that, so family problems or pressures are part of it. In men, you have this issue of anger, not being able to manage their anger. Forget about the ego thing,
All right, welcome back. Before we went on break, we've talked a lot about domestic violence, why men beat women, and why women. We've not really talked about why women make men beat them. The men has, yes, they are making us superstars. They always make us feel bad. But I would really want to know, what are those things that will make a man do? Because I just think no man is an islander. He will just wake up one day and want to beat up a woman just like that. I think there are some things that the women will be doing that will make a man hate a woman. Women, don't hate me. You just need to learn. Let's continue. All right, I'm going to start with you here because a lot of women out there will be like, why is she saying this? Why is she not supporting the women and all that? I'm not a gender biased person and all that. I care about the men, I care about the women. I want us to all improve together. So why do you think men beat women? What do you think? He talked about anger management.
Anger management.
What, because a man cannot just wake up and start getting angry overnight. So what are those things you think women do that makes this abuse just start?
Exactly. The truth is, behind every, as we all know, yes, they will say it's a woman caused it. But let's go back, let's trace it back. Depression. A man is naturally, the things that can make a man depressed is, and it's this domestic violence is perspective in nature. Because what a woman might do to me that will make me get angry, if another person does it to him, he will not get angry. So it depends. A man should structure himself to be matured enough to take whatever comes his way. A man cannot wake up and beat a woman and date. The woman naturally are on the attack side. A man's hormone builds up anger easily. Yes, out of pride. But the woman is always on the attacking side.
And you just said something that what somebody else would do to the man might take it, but what the wife will do to him, he will not take it. Why is it like that?
He's trying to prove a point in the house that he is in charge. And as far as he's in charge, whatever you do, you're a lady, you stay beneath me. The truth is, we have to clear domestic violence from the African culture as a setting.
I think I'm going to cut there. The barrister, did you hear what he said?
Yes, I did.
He just said something that, why I brought the question is, he said something about the women not being submissive. He didn't put it that way.
Exactly.
But he is talking about the women not being submissive. That's why the men do beat the women. And again, if your wife should do something to you, you cannot take it, and somebody else do it to you, and you take it. Is he a good thing?
Well, it's good that he brought this under the purview of a marriage circle.
Yeah, okay.
Because this aspect of what a woman does is an exclusive for now for the married, not for the married. That's the truth. Now, speaking from practical experience, I think this should be my 13th year marriage.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm married as a young man.
Okay.
Yes, and I've never raised my hand on my wife. It doesn't mean she's a saint. Okay. I want to say that marriage is meant for matured minds. Maturity has nothing to do with age. Number two, we need to enter into marriage with the right mentality and concept about marriage. It's not a showman show.
Okay.
That's the truth.
Please, there's something I really want us to address. Why is it that, I still repeat what he said, why is it that somebody else will do something to you as a married man, you will take it, and your wife will do it to you, you won't take it, because according to you said it's you want to show supremacy.
Supremacy.
Why is it like that?
That's what I'm saying. It happens. We won't deny that. But there are some people who have trained themselves to go beyond that. What they can take from their wife, they can take from outsiders. What they cannot take, they cannot also take from outsiders. But most of the times, because you cohabit with this woman, you must have expressed your likes and dislikes. And some women, some women will still go ahead to do those things, either by way of nagging, either by repetition, So the man will see that, is this not an affront to my authority?
What is nagging? When you say the woman is nagging,
what do you term as nagging?
As nagging?
Nagging in this instance is it could be repetition of same thing or same demand.
Okay.
Number two, it could be uncontrolled continuous speech or continuous speaking about an issue. Or some women believe that if they don't say it 300 times, the man will not hear. He won't
That's
understand. So you want to bug the man to ensure that he does what you think. And what do? Some men may not take it, they flare up. Either to prove to you that I'm not deaf, or I will do what I want to do when I want to do it.
And we've seen most times that at your own time doesn't work out so well.
That's what I'm telling you. This is where in marriage communication comes in. By the time you communicate, by the time you understand yourself, some of the things causing problem wouldn't even cause any issue. That's the truth. Which means you must know yourself. That's why they talk about this dating, that's what is relationship. But again, dating cannot holistically deliver to you what you need to know before you get into marriage. Some new things come up every day. And for the unmatured minds, they think that the woman or the man hid all of those ones from him or her in forming his impression. And that brings us to the issue of 1 plus 1 becoming 1. Whereas in a normal balance is 2. Take an instance, this is 2 shaped. You have 1, you have 1. And 1 plus 1 becoming 1 means that 2 must cut off all the excesses as to align with the 1. And once you align in 1, it becomes transparent. There's no hidden corner. You don't have excess baggage. You don't have skeleton in your cupboard. I should look at you as Regina, and you should look at me as Casimir if we're in a relationship.
Men naturally have the belief of, the men naturally want you to always beg them. No matter how he might not want to agree with me, he might want to say his own opinion, but for me as a person growing up in the eastern part of Nigeria, I believe traditionally when my grandfather or my dad is around, they like you coming to meet them all the time to tell them, I need this, I need this, I need this. Honestly speaking, he might not want to agree, but the first-hand knowledge as a child that I grew up with, my father feels very much comfortable when you come and meet him all the time. He doesn't even want you to meet the wife. No, he wants you to always come and meet him. Something that he know that he probably cannot do, or he will still delegate to his wife. But men are always of the view that they are always in charge, so you must come and beg them for everything. And when you beg them once, they will say, okay, like if it is something that you so need, you will come back. And it's when you come back the second time or the third time that they tell nagging, which I don't think any woman nags. I don't think anybody nags. Naturally, women are over expressive of their words. Quite alright indeed. You can overexpress. Oh, honey, I need this. Honey, I need this. Yes. But if your husband understands that you need it, for her to come and ask you, she's desperate about it. She don't need to ask you more than 1 or 2 times for you to do it. But you come and meet her, honey, okay, it's time. It's 12 o'clock. Oh, yeah, now let's kiss. She will just open up. But when it comes to you, you will say no. Anything you want demand from a man, at that point, she needs it. There's something in the social science where it takes, you ease off your pride to ask something from your husband. Yes, for me, I know my mom, as a person, I know she'll be watching this, but the truth is, my mom, before she asks my dad something, she must have sat down on the bed to think about it. Do I need this thing? Do I need this thing? Do I need this thing? Because when she go and she gets a denial, it demoralizes them, and that's when they come back to come and ask you, so that you know that it is important.
Yes.
As a lawyer that you are, what do you think can really, really help people when it comes to domestic violence? How do you think it can, as a lawyer, how do you think it can help?
It's quite a pathetic one. I was talking to someone the other day, said almost 60% of the cases in courts now are divorce. Yes. And most of the grounds is this domestic violence and deprivation, which can come in various aspects. First and foremost, if people can understand the place of a family, marriage in God's agenda, certain things we are seeing will not see it. Number 2, if people can try to sit back and disengage from the kind of societal pressures, environmental pressures, it will help a lot. But legally, there are remedies. That's the truth. Even though for us, legal should be the last thing. But I thank God for the new act, the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. If you go through that act, you see that a whole lot of remedies have been provided, not to punish anybody, but to ensure that there is free cohabitation right, between husband and wife, to make sure that people can really sort themselves out without going too far, even though having a mindset of protecting the victims, which could be a man or a woman. What I think is enlightenment on that act. A lot of people don't know it exists. That's the truth. There are roles and responsibilities on both the court, even the police, which is one of the major problems why people don't speak out. You have an issue, get to the police, they will abuse you. The policeman may have just finished beating their wife in the night and you come, they'll just mess you up. But the act has really bestowed on the police some responsibilities that will help, that will aid, and make sure that some of the things causing these issues are really taken care of. There are enormous remedies, for those that will need such. There are enormous remedies. But in this case, we are talking about dealing with it from the root so that it doesn't occur in the 4 years. That's just it. But there are enormous remedies under that act, in addition to the criminal aspects, it's been provided for. Yes.
Mr. Henry, what's your final take on it?
He has said quite some good points, and the thing that I support and I concur with him is the fact that the element of trust, we don't trust our legal system enough. We don't trust, because I have seen where powerful, influential Igbo people, rich people in the East, beat up their wife and they go to court. Once he lands in the court, he bribes his way out of it and he's let free. But the truth is, we have to create a reorientation and educate our men and women.
Well, he said he had brought out.
Sorry, please. First and foremost, please. I wouldn't want you to use some kind of words. There's not like bribing their way through.
Okay.
That's the truth. When the legal system runs on laws as made by the National Assembly.
Okay.
If the laws upon which the matter was brought to court does not cover what you're thinking, and when the judgment comes out, you as a layperson will begin to think that something has gone on somewhere, but it's not true.
Okay.
Take your time. Go through this act I mentioned now.
Okay.
I think it's quite holistic.
Okay.
Up to the extent of even police escorting a woman to go and carry her luggage from the house.
Okay.
Up to the extent of even making sure that a man doesn't get close to certain things. There are a whole lot of it. Your time will not permit us to go into all of that to educate people, but there is a lot that can benefit the victims, the society, and also punish
the offender.
The offender.
The offender.
Yes.
Okay. That's also the issue of creating an awareness about it, and I love what you're doing with your show. And this is the point: the media is the largest body to speak against it. This is the only place where it was through the media that the issue of the 7-year-old girl was brought to limelight, and the man was punished in India. It's through the media, and I love what you're doing. So the first thing I would want us to do is let people know that depression that affects a man, that makes him do what he does, is a bad thing. Let's start creating an awareness of how to live, cohabit with each other, preach gender appreciation more, and also make men come up with plans that they will always be outspoken. If you lose your job, you tell your wife, honey, I'm going through this problem now, I'm being depressed, I'm sorry, I'm being angry at you, let us go for therapy. That is one aspect of this that causes this thing that most men don't want to agree. Once you mention therapy to a man, the man will be like, why complain somebody my problems? But that's a very good way. If you go through therapies and you understand, you learn to know, okay, this is what happens when the man is angry at that break point. The wife understands, okay, through therapy, okay, okay, but honey, I'm sorry, I'll buy you ice cream, I'll cook your favorite meal. Let us start creating awareness through your program about that that domestic violence is a very terrible thing. It affects how the nation see you, it affects how the society see you, and people always think it's only societal problems. Economically, when you see your nation is not conducive enough for both parties to live in, every foreign direct investment and companies that run there will start taking back their investment out. They will believe that your country is not strong enough to work together.
Okay. Thank you very, very much, Esomchi Henry. Thank you so much for coming on the Spice Marriage Show and sharing your views. I really do appreciate all that you've said, and I think the men out there are going to take note. And also to you, Barrister Kasmia Igwe, thank you so much for sharing your views and letting us know that the Act on Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015. Thank you so much. And I believe people out there that didn't know about it, people need to know now that a bill has been passed against this domestic violence thing that is rampant, is happening everywhere. All right, I want to say a very big thank you to all of you out there for staying at this time to watch Spice the Marriage Show. And on our topic today, domestic violence. I know it's happening to a lot of people, and a lot of people think nothing can be done, and the government is not doing anything about it. They've passed an act on it now. Please and please and please, when it happens to you, look for the nearest. If you cannot even do it alone, look for a lawyer somewhere to help you out. Once you see your husband or your wife is acting up, don't sit down and say the person will change. These things happen. We can't do it on our own. Yes, the media, we are here to let you know that, look, we are watching over you. You also have to watch over yourself. And to the men, it's not the right thing for you to hit your wife. For the women, your men are your kings. You coming together is not for you to come and start fighting. Coming together is as good as you coming to become one, just like he has described. Chiseling out all the corners and making it one and transparent. Men, be transparent to your wife. When it's not there, make her understand it's not there. When you cannot give her, tell her you cannot give her. And you the women, if the man says he doesn't have, please try and understand that at that point he does not have. Let's try and live as one. Live in peace. The country, it's crying so much. And we cannot say, oh, the government has to do everything. You have to wake up and tell yourself and make yourself happy. Nobody can make you happy, but you can make yourself happy. If you have any question or any contribution on this topic, it's a series we are going on. Please feel free, or if you want to talk to us, please feel free to send us a mail on spicemarriageshow@gmail.com, or send us a message on any of the numbers scrolling on the screen right now, or place a call to talk to us. We will always be here to speak with you any day, anytime. But Spice, like I always say, whatever it takes, you alone can fix it. I am Regina.